Well, Janice, welcome once again as we continue our collaboration. And I can't think of a better time for us to be talking right now, honestly. Since our last video, boy, the world has changed. I was saying to somebody the other day, the month of March flew by like it was a year. There's just been so much going on right now, whether it's in the financial markets or the health market. People are having to stay at home and figure out how to, stay in their own place for days and days on end. Emotions, scary emotions are going on. So I just can't imagine a better time for the two of us to be talking. So I'm so glad we're doing this collaboration. I think about the coping mechanisms that we all have to implement during this period of time to get through it. And you're trained in that. I can talk to people all day long about what to do on the financial side and what my training has taught me to do during these periods of time. But what about the coping side? What should people be thinking about when they're afraid, when they look at their 401k or their IRA statements and they see they've gone down, or, they've got a family member that's ill or they know somebody that's ill? What would you suggest?
So one of the first things when we're dealing with emotions that's really helpful, and I find it helpful in my own life, is to not try and push away the emotion, but to recognize the emotion. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, I'm feeling sad. Wow, there goes fear. I really feel it big time. Maybe even tuning into where you're feeling it in your body, and allowing, because if we push away the feeling, it's going to make it that much stronger. Actually allowing ourselves to feel the feeling is a huge first step. We talked earlier about when we were prepping today about some other strategies, like if you live someplace, I know some places this isn't possible, but if you live someplace where you have access to the outdoors and you're not going to be around other people, getting outside is huge. And I feel it now more than ever when I get myself outside, and especially around nature. There's, it has an immediate effect on our emotions in a positive way.
I would say that I experience in that often around lunchtime, or even, after dinner, I'll go for just a little bit of a walk. And I find that I sleep a lot better when I do that, because I just have that breath that I can take, that, I don't have a device in front of me. I'm just outside listening to the birds, watching the moon, whatever it might be, watching the sunrise, just out there, or even just go sitting outside for a few minutes. In the Northeast, when the rare moments that the sun are out, this time of year is actually really nice because it feels warm, right? You get that sunshine on your shoulders. Now that makes a big difference to me. Listening to what's going on around me tends to calm me an awful lot if I can focus on that.
So tuning into your senses. So like, how does the sun, if there is sun, how does the sun feel on me? What am I hearing? What am I smelling? What am I seeing? That's a great way to get out of your thoughts and into your current experience.
Yeah, I was looking for something because, as you can guess, I had some pretty long days and some unique circumstances in trying to help a lot of our clients through these questions that they have, through the fear of what's going on in the market. It does, being in those constant, phone calls and meetings, which I love to do because I feel like I have some value that I can add to people's lives. But at the same time, I need to make sure that I'm taking some time to sort of walk away from it. So I was Googling some meditation options. And one of the meditation videos, it's a guided video, actually says to you, find a sound. Like find just one sound and listen to that sound. And just focus on that sound. And so you just sit there and you listen to that sound, and then it'll say, find another sound. And for me, like, I have always struggled a little bit with meditation because my mind is constantly like skipping around. And that's okay too in meditation.
It is.
I know now. But if I have a focus, then I'm less apt to let my mind wander. So I have found that that's also very helpful, and particularly helpful if I can do it outside.
So do you listen to the guided meditation while you're doing it, or are you just doing it on your own?
So I have one earbud in listening to the guided meditation, and I have a little bit of music, soft music going, and then one without it, so that it's telling me what to do and I'm listening for it. And then while I'm doing that, sometimes it'll go completely silent, like it's still running, but there's no sound whatsoever on the music side. It's telling me to seek a sound, a bird, a cricket, a peeper. It can be anything like that, but find that sound, seek that sound, and listen to that. And then it'll bring you back in and say, how did you feel? How do you feel? Take deep breaths. And for me, being told to breathe. It's amazing. Often when I just say breathe, take a deep breath in, blow it out. Yes, we breathe but we don't deep breathe. And so that can make a big difference. And just reminding myself to breathe sometimes is huge too.
There's a really easy breathing exercise that we could do if you'd like.
Sure.
It's just okay. So if you're comfortable, and the people that are watching this or listening to this are comfortable, and you're not driving your car, you can close your eyes or just soften your gaze. And I'm going to ask you to take a deep breath in to the count of 4. So 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, release, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, release, 2, 3, 4. And you can open your eyes when you're ready.
Softens the shoulders, doesn't it?
Yes. There's just a nice little reminder, to get back into your body and get out of your head.
Yeah. Breathe. Yeah.
Breathing.
You had also mentioned, when I was asking you this in the preparation side, of finding ways that we're discovering what are we missing most and what to do about that.
Like I was talking with somebody the other day who really loved going to the gym, and they really missed that. And that was their place where they could get really mindful and kind of get into that state of flow and not be in their head. And so we talked about different ways to accomplish that on your own. And so some of the ideas would be, there's a lot of people in like gyms and yoga studios that are offering classes, but they're online. And like this morning I did a yoga class, and it was nice because if I don't have that time, like, okay, at this time I'm going to do the class, I might not do it. I might let the day just get away from me. So things like that, I think, are like a really good way to try and replicate the thing that you're missing, or like having the coffee date with your girlfriends or your guy friends on whatever time, Wednesday morning, or the beer after work, and doing that virtually.
I hear a wine date coming.
Yeah.
Now, what if people are finding their anxiety levels going up significantly because the 4 walls are sort of moving in on them a little bit? We're not, as a society, we're not equipped to necessarily be inside all the time. So what would you suggest for people that are experiencing some anxiety of those 4 walls sort of moving in on you?
So I would say that the things that we've talked about already, guided meditations might be nice. So there's, the one that I really like is Insight Timer. There's a free version of it. And there's also one, and I wish I had it the name on the tip of my tongue, but I don't. In New York State, they partnered with one of the, I don't know if it's Headspace or one of those. They've made it free in New York for New York residents.
Okay.
So you just have to, so just do a search for that. New York State free meditation, and that should come up.
Yeah.
But doing one around anxiety or fear, I think could be very helpful. And for people that haven't done guided meditations, there's nothing scary about it. It basically is what Amy and I have been talking about. It's just focusing on your breath and imagining. Sometimes they'll have you imagine like you're walking to the beach, and what do you see? What do you feel? And so something like that might be really nice because it would take you outside of your four walls. With your imagination.
And also, I mean, there are a lot of people that feel like this is going to go on for a very long time, and they're very afraid, even when the ban is lifted and we can start going outside of our homes. I think we've all learned a very hard lesson about, properly making sure that now that right there will help reduce stress.
That's monkey.
I can see why you call them that. So I think that would be, that's created some fear in people too, that's going to be long stretched. Like, once people can start going out and the cases are starting to reduce, well, what if the economy doesn't recover? What if the stock market doesn't recover? Or, what if my small business, I've had people say, what if my small business isn't able to get back on its feet? These are real. They're not imagined. Those are real fears. They're real things that could actually happen. And what I've been trying to do, especially with small business, is saying, well, okay, let's say that happens. Let's say this business as is cannot go on, right? Let's say that you're not able to start back up. What would you do next? What would you like to do as a backup plan? And what are the things that you've loved? You've always said, I wish I could do this, or I wish I could do that. Start thinking about those sort of things instead of, well, I don't know if my business is ever going to open. Well, okay, the fear is, what if it doesn't? But to be on the other side of that is to say, well, what if I can't? What could I do? What are some of the other things that I could do that would be benefit, like I could generate income from? Because that's really what it comes down to in my case, that people are like worried that they're not going to be able to generate income in 8 weeks when some of the programs run out. So are there any other thoughts that you have around that particular topic that people can utilize for some, I guess, self-talk through stuff like that?
Well, I think that that what you're talking about is really beneficial. Focusing on what we have control over. I don't have control over the stay-at-home orders. I don't have control over so many different things, but I do have control over if I wear a mask out in public. I do have control over the explorations that I'm doing on ways that my business might be able to pivot into something else. I think that, I don't know.
Those are great. Those are great, because some businesses have said, especially retail have said, what am I supposed to do during this period of time? Like, well, can you sell online? Right. Are those things that you could do? Could you create a website and be able to sell some of those products online? Because small business, all the small businesses are really being supportive of each other. I've got to say, that's been one of the amazing things out of this. So if I know that my neighbor is a small business and they can't open their doors right now, but they've got someplace online that I can order things, I'll order it from them. And whether you have to ship it or whether it's a pickup place or something like that. But these are things that, I think we often don't think outside of what our reality has been.
Right.
So I think sometimes talking to somebody who asks those questions can sometimes be helpful as well.
And I would suggest like brainstorm with people that maybe don't work in the field that you do, because they may have ideas for things, or business ideas or ways that you could pivot that that you may not come up with.
Yeah. So I think talking with other people, even if it has to be over the phone or via Zoom, or thinking about how your business structures could change. And even you, I mean, you're normally a face-to-face type of person when you meet with people, and you've gone virtually in many of your meetings. So, I mean, I think that just shows
I had to pivot big time. Yeah, because like you're used to doing at least some of your work virtually, and mine was. So I'm starting a new business, and a couple months into it, now you're not meeting with people one-on-one, or in person. Now you're doing it on the internet.
So you better learn the software and figure out, are people still going to meet with you? How are they going to pay?
One thing that I found helpful was there were a bunch of Facebook pages for therapists and online therapists, and I learned a lot on there. So, finding your people on social media too. There's a lot of support and a lot of great ideas.
Well, I think this has been a great conversation during a period of time, giving people a lot of ideas of how they might be able to sort of think outside the box. I love the deep breathing exercise that we did. So if people want to, back it up and record it and look for maybe do a Google search for the free Headspace or meditation system that's out there. I know Headspace is a big one. Then that would be great. And you can always, the benefit of these YouTube videos is that we can always come back to them and rethink and think through them. Of course, if you're experiencing any kind of depression or concerns, then that's where it's really important that you reach out to Janice and she can, chat with you about some of those items. I can deal with the financial stuff. I don't have the ability to deal with, some of those really deep things. So I hope this team that we're forming and the videos that we're doing here are helping all of you. So be sure to like and subscribe so that you know when new ones are coming out. And if you have a topic that you would like for us to cover, so we had a whole different topic planned for this particular month, but we felt this was really important that we get this out there. We'd love to hear your suggestions and ideas so that we can make sure that we're getting information out there that you want to hear from us. So Janice, thank you so much. We appreciate you taking time out of your schedule, and Monkey, we appreciate
Sure she is. Here she is.
You are a cutie, and anything that will make you smile like that is so worth sharing. So we love having, I always say, puppies, kitties, and babies on the show. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Amy.